All right, y'all. Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland, Delmar, Maryland, Delmarva Christmas lights. Rocking my Christmas lights hoodie right now. Closing out the year 2020. It's been an absolute crazy year. Definitely not the year that I was expecting this to be. Last year finished at 540, was going to aim for 800 this year. Obviously, between the virus and the world and everything else going on, we didn't hit 800 this year. Still had a great year. I was kind of typing up and reflecting back on how this year has gone. And it's been interesting. It's certainly, like I said, not at all what I was expecting. Plenty of amazing things happen because of Corona, because of the current environment and things that are going on. So just kind of want to dive through here. I'll just be brutally honest. Last year, we got into December. I felt like the season just ended like that. We did 27 grand in December after doing I think we did somewhere in the mid 70s, low 80s last November. I can look up the numbers, but not really that important right now. Went into the beginning of the year for 2020. Had me, my foreman, sales guy, an office person, and a helper. Went through basically over the next 2 months. Then Corona started. Office person got offered a job making double or triple what we were paying her. Went with our blessing. Fired the helper. Sales guy left, dipped out, which was a fun experience right then. But it was a necessary ending. It was good. So it was just me and my foreman left. We went through a lot of people this year. We should have been running, and we've previously during the busy seasons run 2 full trucks and a third kind of it was like a downstreaming basic rig, kind of one of our starter units. Went through spring, got the different government funding deals, PPP, one of the $10,000 grants, and got a bunch of stuff through the EIDL, which, by the way, the new shop has a kegerator. Enjoying that here. So we ended up, because it was a little bit slower and because we saw all this Corona stuff going on, we all self-deemed ourselves as power washers as being essential companies. We bought some sanitizer, or sanitizing chemicals, and put those on every truck so we could keep working. Made it through March, April, May. It's kind of crazy. If you guys have followed the channel for a while, we've grown dramatically over the past 6-7 years. I've got a year-over-year, month-over-month performance tracker, Excel sheet. I always love looking through there, even just looking at just how many estimates do we do? What was the total amount of estimates that we did this month? What's our average estimate, our average ticket, how many jobs we did? And it's also really helpful too, and I've talked about that year-over-year sheet, but to see when you're figuring out your marketing, figuring out your staffing levels, to kind of know we have this peak here and here and whatnot. But basically for the whole first half of the year, we were at or below what we'd done previous years. I want to say May or June, we were off by 20 grand in the hole. Not necessarily in the hole, but instead of being, we should have been up 100, 150. But to be down year to date was kind of just a weird situation. It was kind of nice running less people. We did go through, quite frankly, a lot of technicians this year. We had turnover in the office position. We had turnover in sales. It's been a very much a teaching year. Thought I learned all my lessons last year in 2019. We made some purchases earlier this year, which you guys have following this. We bought a box truck, that was amazing to have. We bought a newer one, only 5 years old, less miles. And then in June, blew a motor and was out for 37 days. And our other box truck went down about a week or so later, for a little over 35, 38 days, whatever it was. Had to buy 2 trailers. We bought a sales vehicle earlier this year, which has paid for itself because it's a hybrid and has been phenomenal. I think I ended up putting almost 25,000 miles on it, or between myself and the sales team, 25,000 miles on it since April. But because it gets basically 40 miles per gallon versus the 13 we were getting with other vehicles, that pays for itself. Had some really trying times this year. The office person who got that other job, she came back, helped us out. Got to a point where, what she left to do was real estate, and they needed her a lot. And I needed her a lot right then too, and it was too much to handle. And so here we are in the middle of a big multi-day commercial job, and all of a sudden I am answering the phones and all of the office and payroll and everything else. And we bring on a new office person a couple weeks later and bring on sales. Neither of those 2 people worked out. Made it through the rest of the summer. Finally, July. July was our best month. Best July by a solid amount. The best August ever. Best September ever. Best October. November destroyed November 2019. And December. Guys, we're going to finish the month, and, we've only got a couple more hours, so I'm not going to take the power washer out and go find a way to do another $500 worth of work. I've done almost $80,000 this month. The month of December. The month of, again, the very beginning of this, that was a stressful ending of the year. With where we were financially, I overbought on inventory for Christmas lights last year, and I was sitting on somewhere between $8,000 to $10,000 in inventory that should have produced $40,000 or $50,000 worth of, income, but instead was just dead weight there. I don't remember if I posted this or not, but I did end up getting COVID in November, in basically the peak weeks of Christmas light season. Literally right after literally the Monday that my sales guys go on is the day that I come in. I'm sick. I don't feel, did a whole bunch of estimates that day because he was gone, and get home and I'm like, man, I'm sick. Finally got tested on Wednesday. I was still feeling okay, and finally got the results Saturday. Friday night I felt horrible. I had 102.6 or 102.7, whatever it was, fever, and just and it's the second time during late season. The first season I got really, really sick. And I realized after it all, COVID or not, last time it was the upper respiratory or something, whatever I had was not good. And it was because I was putting too much stress on my body. It was because I was working too many hours. I wasn't resting, stressing about the business, stressing about the clients, everything else going on. And I think it's easier for me to look out for others. I value my foreman. I have made sure, before that I was like, hey, I need you to take 2 days off, or take a day off, figure out whatever day I'm here. You take a day off and just get out. Take time. We haven't got to the point where we're going to work, 7 days a week. Some weeks we had 1 week where we did a Chick-fil-A on Sunday, and we ended up doing a bunch of work that Saturday, and it was a crazy week. It's been a crazy year. We were up to, at one point, we had 15 employees, including seasonal people. We're now to the point with 2 office people. Obviously, I'm not in my house. I'm not sitting in my truck right now. In August, I went away with some buddies because all the other pressure washing and Christmas light conventions have been canceled, and we were all done with it. And we needed to get away and have a couple beers. But I come back literally the next day, come back and these two guys from the county walk up and told us that we couldn't have the business on my property anymore. And I've been in the plans to build a big shop on the property that I'd eventually be able to use, as a epic man cave. But we were fortunately able to find this place. I posted videos of this. It's a 12,000 square foot property. We got basically about 10 grand. There's 10,000 square feet of shop space. We've got a ton of space up above me, which is where we're putting the majority of the Christmas lights, and 2,000 square feet of office. It's been an amazing upgrade to the business, to our image, to quite frankly, the way that our employees look at the business is different, because as a new hire coming into this space versus, meeting my dogs, parking in front of my house, walking down a driveway to work. It's really crazy when I look back and see the old garage/shop where I could barely fit a trailer inside that. To now we have, out in the shop right now, we have 4 trailers, a box truck, and 3 pickup trucks out there. And we still have a ton of space and all the pallets and everything else. And I'll make another video after this, just kind of showing you guys where we're at now. Sorry, my nose. My nose is itching. We'll finish the year at 670 and change. So again, up about 130, 140 year over year. Accomplished some huge goals. Or not even necessarily goals. So much of what we've done has just been me knowing if I continue to push, if I continue to market, we'll do more. I'm not as goal focused as I guess I should be. But we had our first $100,000 month. We had $10,000 days multiple times. We had back-to-back $40,000 weeks. Next year it's going to be crazy because I know we'll do $50,000 or $60,000 in a week, if not more, and probably do that 3 or 4 times. Was able to have some higher level sit downs. We had one day where we finally got to the end of flight season for the most part, and we had 3 people out doing work, and then I was able to sit down with my foreman, one of my lead sales/techs, or 2 office people. One of them also does sales, and just kind of sit and dissect what had happened in the last several months. It's really crazy to me too that literally I have me, my foreman, who's been with me for basically a year and a half now, and other than one guy who's been like off and on because he had another business, everybody else has been with us for basically 4 months or less. I'll take this.